And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. Happy Friday. Hope you made it through the week safe and sound. And what are we doing here? We're having the best day ever. Why? Because we're crypto experts. No, just kidding. And we have a lot to talk about today. Besides Bitcoin's price targets, we've got some very exciting news coming out right now. This came in today. First crypto satellite launched on Spacex rocket. So Elon Musk, paving the way for the future with cryptocurrency, keeping the network safe over the internet, over satellite. But it says the first crypto satellite will be blasted off into low Earth orbit by SpaceX, a rocket launched in Florida on Wednesday. The launch will set the foundation for secure cryptography related to the blockchain in space. CryptoSat is the company behind Crypto One, the first crypto satellite that will be launched by a Falcon 9 rocket for SpaceX's Transporter 5 mission. The satellite, which is no bigger than a coffee mug, has been built using off-the-shelf parts. The satellite can prove vital as a tamper-proof platform for securing and launching blockchains and Web3 platforms. The platform would be physically unreachable. Trials related to blockchain satellite technology have already begun in the International Space Station. So, for all those people out there that say, oh, an EMT is going to kill Bitcoin and blockchain, no. They're putting it on a satellite in space. You're not going to be able to stop $1 trillion network. Okay, these guys are just too smart for it. They're not going to let it go down. They're not going to let their money go down. I mean, not to say the price can't go down, but let's go ahead and take a look at next piece of news. Mastercard jumping in the water here, remains optimistic on crypto despite the market meltdown. It says, despite current market volatility, dynamic and enterprising executives and investors are optimistic about the crypto industry's long-term potential. Despite its current turmoil, Mastercard has adopted an aggressive expansion strategy into cryptocurrency, capitalizing on the opportunity through strategic partnerships. Harold Bose, Vice President of the New Product Development and Innovation, predicts the widespread adoption of crypto assets and blockchain technology will occur sooner than previously thought. Bose stated on Tuesday webinar as part of Avalanche's Powering Business, the blockchain series, that there are millions of persons consuming and sending digital assets from one part of the globe to another. Yes, that's right. Millions of persons. Twitter. What do we got here? A little tweet here from Bitcoin Magazine. Billionaire Bill Miller said, quote, I consider Bitcoin an insurance policy against a financial catastrophe. I was going to say insurance policy against inflation, but that might just be the very next catastrophe. What else do we got here on the news channel? Oh, Bitcoin Miami mayor. I say, I will stake my salary in Bitcoin. Miami mayor to Davos. So he's up in Davos telling all those lizard people, hey, what's going on? I'm going to get paid in Bitcoin. Mayor, oh, no, thanks. We don't want that. Miami mayor said he is still taking his city salary in Bitcoin even after a route that sent the cryptocurrency down almost 40% over the past 2 months. That's a man of his word right there, just taking it on the chin. Hey, he believes in the long-term future of Bitcoin, and so do I. And that's actually, in fact, why I think a Bitcoin IRA makes so much sense. You could buy crypto at Coinbase and store it, but if you think Bitcoin's going to go to $250,000 over the next, 5 years, 10 years, why not grow it in like a Roth IRA so your growth is, tax-free, right? The gains are tax-free. I'm not saying don't pay your taxes. I don't give financial advice. I'm not an accountant, but it makes a lot of sense to diversify any of your retirement accounts with crypto if you believe in the long-term future of Bitcoin as a store of value and essentially a digital gold. Okay, back into the news here. Twitter, all the threads just in. Oh, there he is again. Confirms he still takes his salary in Bitcoin. So that was a little bit of a retweet, but I'm going to jump into my favorite part of the day, and that's Bitcoin's price action. Getting a little bounce here as we are speaking on the 5-minute time frame. Big bounce. Not a whole lot happens on the 5-minute, but can be a good indicator of what's possibly to come. And I'll give you an example right now. Just this tight little range right here. I'm going to go back to my Fibonacci retracement tool here, and this would be a bullish retracement. So from the swing low to the swing high here, a break, even on a 5-minute above 28,941. I'm looking for a move up to 29,131 at a minimum. First target, second target up there. Are we in a bit of a bouncy area? I would say yes. Why? Well, a couple of reasons. Even though this is getting a little bit more droopy than I would like for Bitcoin to play out the bounce that we've been talking about. Come on, can I get my eraser here? Let's make this look legible at least. Okay, so here's Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. And what you'll see here is that we've got support coming back all the way from these levels. So these wick lows right here act typically as support. They've been bouncing every time, but the more touches to a trend line, the more weak it gets, right? So any kind of a 4-hour closure, we've been talking about this below, call it, actually, I think we were saying, 29,000 is good enough to do it, and probably going to retest this wick low. I guess I'm giving it the last chance for the Mohicans to bounce off of these wick lows. And why am I saying we could get a bounce here? Well, NASDAQ's getting a nice bounce, clearing the 12,500 region on a 4-hour closure. We're getting way up there, right? But we're avoiding that bearish divergence. We will have some coming back from this point over here. And that's still not, that's going to be one drive of bearish divergence. We're getting the silver cross here. Volatility is pretty high, but could go higher. Stokes are in the critical zone. So NASDAQ's looking healthy. S&P as well. And let's throw it on the daily time frame. I mean, S&P looks like it wants to head up to 4,200. NASDAQ, its target up there at 13,000. And I would say, any kind of a daily closure here or higher, very likely we do get that move. And that is basically going to be testing the bottom side of the breakdown level here on the weekly time frame, which is why we're overall bearish. But another tell here is just a tick above this at 12. It's really hard to see that exact tick, but it's like 12,603. Probably gets you a move at least to there. And that's enough to get you up to that other target at 13,300. So if NASDAQ's up 2% right now and Bitcoin's down 1.7%, I think there's a bit of an opportunity right there. And we've just in general been seeing some very volatile whipsaw price action. I mean, look at these 4-hour candles. The wicks are getting out of hand here. So, do we kind of scare everybody out here and bounce it, one more time? I don't know. We're getting an hourly closure coming in right now. And do we have volume? We're crossing down. Volatility is up, and we are breaking the range to the downside. We got another 5 minutes left on this candle, and volatility is declining. We are coming back to this low, and yeah, I'm interested to see if we play out a little bit of a bounce here, or if we play out the downside on Bitcoin. But yeah, so how would I mediate this? At the end of the day, we really want to operate off the daily time frame. When price action gets this tight, this wound up, you can front run with a 4-hour or a 12-hour closure below the bottom side of those wicks here. But that's almost enough to do it for me. Anytime you see price action kind of doing this, grinding up against which would be the lows, the more touches to that trend line, the more likely you're going. The only thing keeping me slightly bullish for a bounce here is NASDAQ up 2.5, S&P up 1.7. It has come down considerably and may have a little bit more to go on the daily time frame, but it did just touch the green 55. That was kind of our target to the downside at 101.31. Even if we do get a bounce, I do think we have some downside on the dollar from here. Weekly is down. And let's see what else. How's Bitcoin's weekly on the CME is going to look here. And, that's looking pretty droopy. We do have some volume on this candle. We are coming in to the bottom side of this wick here, taking these guys out. That could be a sign of continuation for the week to come. But again, probably going to want to see open interest tick up a bit more. Open interest right now is currently, last I checked, at about 10.6 billion. Let's see here. 10.6 billion. Yeah, 10.62 billion. So it's relatively low. And for us to get that next big kind of downside move, we want to see open interest typically back up above 12, 13, 14 billion. And that tells us, hey, we can get another 25% leg to the downside. What else do I want to take a look at is the stochastics on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, which I imagine are probably crossing to the downside at the moment. And we're just starting to expand here off the lows. And we did say for expansion to kick in, we want to see it above 20%. That'll tell us move is in full motion to the upside or to the downside. And the additional thing we talked about is the momentum indicator, the stochastics. If we cross down, there's a very high likely that that move plays out to the downside, and that's 26,000 with the small bounce, and then I think down to about 25 or 23,000 over some time. We could just throw the fib on there right now. This is for spot price action on the daily time frame. If we use candle bodies, yep, that puts you in line with that wick. If we use wicks, that puts you at that $23,000 target. So, and that's right in line with about a 25% move, right? So again, we've been going over this for a bit, and I don't know if this is a bit clustered for anybody here. But I mean, we're hanging on to a thread, and what's most likely to happen right now? The same, right? I would stick with the same. What's the same thing that's been happening? We've been bouncing off the top side of the bottom side of the range, and vice versa on the opposite side. What's been happening on the daily time frame? We are coming in this trend line, and we are getting slammed back down. So do we have one more bounce in for the day? I'm not sure. Only time will tell, but a pretty easy way to kind of mediate all this. And let me see if I can clean up the screen a little bit here. Take the Bollinger Bands off and throw this back up. And when we're looking at the 4-hour range resolution to the upside or the downside on a closing basis, I mean, it's really hard, because price action's just going to whip everybody out, right? I mean, the leverage traders, probably putting their stops in somewhere right around here. And so could we get one more wick down here and then bounce it up? Yeah, absolutely. However, front running the decision with a 4-hour closure coming up in 3 hours. So we need a bounce here in the next 3 hours on price action. Otherwise, it looks like a little bit more leaning onto the bearish side, at least in the short term. Okay, that is it for, but again, I pointed out reasons why, why perhaps with NASDAQ looking pretty darn bullish here. And I wonder if there's a gap right there. Is that what I just saw? Is there a gap on price action for the NASDAQ that wants to get filled? No, I don't think I saw it. Anyways, I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. We will follow up on Monday with some more kind of news about Bitcoin and the resolution of this pretty much range, 31,000 on the upside and 29,000 on the downside. Keep in mind, over a holiday weekend, typically price action is flighty and floaty and all over the place. I would wait for the markets to get back open on CMEs on Tuesday, market open to, get a confirmed direction, because we might see, some shots to the upside, to the downside over the weekend, just all over the place. That being said, wishing you guys all a, blessed and highly favored weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to get some future updates on Bitcoin's price action. Thanks. Hope you all have a blessed day. Take care.